Hi, I recorded this on Friday, and it seems like Trump is already doing what I expected he will do. So I didn't release it because I was busy. I am not exactly a professional YouTuber. So I hope you listen to this and it's interesting to you. Today there has been a decision from the Supreme Court, unanimous 9-0, that the ruling of the lower court, federal court, if I'm not wrong, against the Trump administration for trying to deport some guy was correct, or kind of correct, and this is very important. So everybody seems to be very excited about this, saying, yeah, the system is working. But I would like to tell you here that you're probably wrong to think that the system is still not working. So let's look at what has happened before. So this guy was taken one day, and somehow he had the chance to call his family and his lawyer, if I'm not wrong. And the lawyer managed to go to a court, and the federal court, again, if I'm not wrong, decided that this is unlawful what Trump was doing. Like he cannot just throw people in some random foreign jail without due process. This is a fundamental um, concept in a U.S. Law, so this really has to happen. And so Trump really had to bring somebody back. Now, of course, this guy actually hadn't done anything, so he's totally innocent. He was escaping Venezuela. He was part of no gang. And honestly, I think even if you're part of no gang, you still should be treated as a human being, because treating somebody as a human being doesn't say anything about the person who's being treated as a human being, but says a lot about this person, the person who's doing the treating. So if you don't treat somebody as a human being, that's on you. Okay, that's your problem. But anyway, this guy was not a gang member, so there was no reason for him to be there. He had done nothing wrong, and he was actually in a path for legalization. So he was also not really illegally here in the United States anymore. So the judge says, you, Trump, bad boy, do the good thing. Trump, of course, like a whiny little bitch he is, went to his daddy, Supreme Court, said, Daddy, he's being mean to me. And they say, no, little Trump, you are being the bad boy. But you're good, you keep trying. Good boy, good boy. So what does it mean? So what they did is something very, I think, very meaningful, in the sense that it really screws up the previous judge order. The previous judge order was, you have to do it. The Supreme Court found an issue which I think is really legally relevant, but is it humanely relevant? In my opinion, we have laws because that's supposed to uphold our humanity. It's supposed to make us do the right thing. We don't do the right thing because we have laws. And in this case, what the Supreme Court says is, let's look about the law first, okay? And for this time, let's try to keep everything, looking good. Is it good? Not sure. But in short, what they say is that, okay, you, Trump administration, have the prerogative of foreign policy, and a judge cannot tell you what to do in that regard. And telling you to bring back this guy, apparently is part of foreign policy. Who knew? I'm not sure everybody knew, because usually deporting people illegally was not something that probably other people thought before they will happen. So again, not sure if that was in law somehow already decided. So you have to bring it back, but only if it doesn't touch on foreign policy. I think the lower court judge kind of has to decide on what is that and define the limit better. So that's not totally bad. But it does give a lot of space for the Trump administration to say, well, this foreign policy is not foreign policy. Probably, they can play a lot. The other thing that Trump administration needs to do is to make a little report, maybe with some draws on top and some stickers, and bring him back to the federal court to show that he was a good boy, And he didn't just try, he just dragged his feet and tried to do the minimum possible to fail, but he actually tried to do something meaningful. But again, the president office or the executive, I'm not sure how the law is there, but reductions are a thing, and even if they might try, bigger organizations really are really bad doing things out of the box, because it takes so many people to do anything small. They're not built for flexibility in mind. They're usually built from resilience. And Trump has been, really trying to destroy all the structures they had. So even if they wanted to, they have so many ways to make this excruciatingly difficult for everyone, to the point that I don't think this is going to work at all. So even if they say they try, and it looks that they try at some level, who even says that the best effort is the best effort? What's the limit of foreign policy, and what's actually the prerogative of the judge to tell them to do something? That's, yeah. So altogether, I think in a way they open the door for Trump to do something. So this decision is not nearly as great as everybody is thinking about. And what's going to happen in my view is that the guy is going to stay there unless somebody of his family go to El Salvador and they bribe some officials there, and they manage to get this guy out, and they bring it to some reasonably safe country for him. And something interesting that I also would like to say is that, people were always complaining, and complain a lot, about the fact that the Supreme Court is very unfair. Yeah, this system doesn't work. We have all these life judges, and these were appointed by Trump, and they're bought by Trump. Yeah, no, this shouldn't happen. But now that they align with them, well, yeah, the Supreme Court work. Yes, check and biases. Woo, woo, woo. But it is this amazing as it seems to be. If you think about it, the pro-Trump judges, they gave a big opening to Trump and his administration. So they save face. They provide a legally valid reason for Trump to really do whatever he wants. The pro-Trump judges cannot say no to this. They also have to say yes. So it seems to me that this is a condition in which the system totally fails someone. This is not an example of the system working. This is an example of the system totally failing. Okay. So this is my take. I do hope the guy comes back home, or maybe not the same home as before, but the place where he can live without being threatened by people that will kill him, or without being afraid of somebody randomly deporting him to a hellhole in some other third country, which seems really, really awful. But I wouldn't hold my breath. That's all for me. If you got here, thanks for listening. Please let me know what you think. Anything constructive. I would love to hear your thoughts. Bye.